Long way, get this shit a long way, hit the long way, long way, hit the long way, 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 shit, long way, 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 shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way. Get the shit a long way. Finish rich, yeah. Gotta get the shit a long way. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, but she don't understand. She be trippin' every day, she be trippin' every way. But I gotta get the shit a long way. Tryna get money every single way. Tryna get money every single day, yeah. Get money every single way, every day. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. I'm feeling like we be the new slaves, yeah. No, we gotta finish rich, no, we gotta finish rich. Got a new bitch, she don't understand rich. She don't understand, niggas gotta get rich. She don't understand, sometimes we gotta hit lit. No, we ain't hit lit, tryna get the long way, yeah. Tryna get the shit the long way, yeah. Cause you tryna wrap up a entree, yeah. Told you the other day that did my phone strong. We gon' shoot the long way, we gon' get the long way, yeah. Yeah, get the shit the long way. My bitch be trippin' back and forth like a palm way. My name is Tori, and I'm playing games up to done Tori. Yesterday she told me that she about to leave, said fuck it, bitch, we gon' get some money. Said fuck it, bitch, I'm about to get some money. So what I do today, I work it, got some money, yeah. Cause we gon' get the shit the long way, we gon' get the long way, yeah. Back and forth like the palm way, yeah. Man, I'ma get the shit the long way, get the shit the long way. Just the only way today, because they go with shit's crazy. You gotta wear a mask, we the new slaves, and we be wearing this shit like every day. We be okay, we gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, they gon' be okay for me, yeah. So we gon' get this shit the long way, yeah. We gon' get this shit the long way, we gon' get this shit the long way, yeah. Yeah, we get this shit the long way, yeah. Cause we gon' be okay, we gon' be okay, yeah. We gon' get the long way, yeah.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to another edition of I'm your host, LJ Young. Hello, hello. Sorry, I had switched mics and forgot to turn this one on. I'm your host. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for joining. And as I said earlier, my name is LJ Young, and I am a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them mathematically see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where slaves live. Now, there's two kinds of slaves. There's unconscious slaves and there's conscious slaves. Unconscious slaves cannot see negative numbers. They can't see them. So here's, for an example, to try to figure out if you are what's called an unconscious slave, right? So if you open up your calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit equal. Now, don't just listen to the sound of my voice while looking at the calculator. I want you to just listen to the sound of my voice. The reason why you believe you're a homeowner is because you can't see negative numbers. Okay. All right. That's why you believe you're a homeowner with a mortgage, with a 30-year mortgage. Right? Now, conscious slaves were once unconscious. They saw the same example, but they decided to believe the calculator. So now they know if they're in the negative, they don't own anything. Anything in their financial life, their whole financial life is a mathematical illusion, all because they couldn't see negative numbers. So now they're doing whatever it takes to get to zero. That was me. From age 18 to age 40, I was a six-figure college-educated earned slave. That's what I was, all because I couldn't see negative numbers. So what actually woke me up was I got to the pinnacle of what the people in the debt matrix deem success, like a six-figure earner, college smart, good six-figure job, whatever, prestigious job title, whatever, just all the made up stuff, right? I got to that point, and then I was like, is this it? What else is there? What? And I knew something was wrong. Long story short, I was a slave. I didn't see negative numbers. If I had seen negative numbers, I would have known I didn't own any of that stuff. But that was the problem. That's what was the feeling. But I couldn't ask anybody, right? I couldn't. There was nobody to ask a question I didn't even know to ask. Hey man, when I get home and I look at all this fancy stuff, I get a funny feeling. Do you know what that means? Nobody's going to be able to answer that question, right? Because the 9 times out of 10, the person you're asking can't see negative numbers either. So they're not going to know the answer either. So anyway, I found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey basically said, take the arithmetic that we all learned in grade school, apply it to your finances using these baby steps, and then you'll get out of debt. And that's what I did. I was like, whoa, it was just math. And I was like, yeah, just math. So religion has nothing to do with it, right? Nope. So I stripped that out, right, for SMD. And then even with Mr. Ramsey's baby step 4, it says, hey, when you get down to your mortgage, start putting away 15% of retirement. But if you open up the calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit equal, you will clearly see that you don't have 15% of anything to put anywhere. And if you can't see that, that means you can't see negative numbers, right? But if you can't see negative numbers, you don't know that you can't put 15% of negative into anything outside of yourself. That's impossible. All right. And then they're like, oh, okay. Then strip that out. And then you come down straight to math. And then from math, you just say, what is it really? The ability to see negative numbers. That's the answer. This is a psychological thing, right? It's not nothing physical. The only way I could possibly show you, this is the only way I could possibly show you what my world is like right now. If they could actually print negative dollars, like say like they had green money and then they had red money, okay? Say like you had physical red money when you were in debt. This is just what you had, right? Can you imagine how much houses would be overran with red money? That money wouldn't be worth nothing. It'd be all in the streets. You can't buy anything with it. It's just everywhere, right? It would be everywhere. But that's why it's not printed. Because if they did that, you guys would see it. And you'd be like, why? Why is this red money everywhere? Then you guys would wake up. So we can't have that, right? So they don't print. It's actually better non-printed. It's just funny to think about. Sometimes I be cracking myself up, man. It's just hilarious, right? I'll be coming up with these ideas. Anyway, so now we're down to that. So now this is what I do. I help change people's lives. Now I want you guys to really understand something. I didn't really understand the ability to see negative numbers until like the end of last month. That's when it really like clicked to me. The ability to see negative numbers. You guys haven't, I know the majority have no idea what that means. No clue what that means, right? But if you did, you'd know. Okay, let's just put it that way. Now, anyway, let's get to the topic. All right. So Biden extended student loan payments and interest till January of next year. I'm gonna tell you something right now. Okay, I already knew they were gonna do that. Okay, that wasn't a surprise to me or people like me. I want you guys, because if you're a person right now that when you heard that you breathed a sigh of relief. That's because you're a slave. That's why you breathe a sigh of relief. What are you breathing a sigh of relief for? You just you're happy you don't have to pay it again until January. January is going to come and you're still not going to have the money anyway. They could push that shit all the way to 2042. It wouldn't matter. It would not matter. You guys are not paying it off, period. I don't even, when people don't have student loan debt, they don't hear about Biden pushing pushing student loan debt to January because they don't care. We don't care. I didn't know about this until somebody told me about it. But if this is you, I'm gonna give you guys a few pieces of advice of kind of things that might happen. I don't know, man. I'm just guessing. Okay, all right. I'm guessing that cryptocurrency is going to suddenly shoot up. The worth of Bitcoin, probably Bitcoins are probably going to shoot up right now because all the people don't think they have to make student loan payments now. Now this is what they're thinking now. Man, now I don't have to make student loan pay. I might as well invest in some cryptocurrency, man, quadruple my money and then pay back my. Yeah, okay, slave. Go ahead and do that. It gives you guys more room and more time to take advantage of this hot housing market. Now that you don't have to pay your student loans till January, you don't have to put it on your credit app when you fill out for to get a loan right now because the housing market's hot. You don't even have to add it. That improves your DTI, right? That's what you want, right? Now you're going to sign up for a house. Now you got all the way to the end of the year to take advantage of the hot housing market. Then when January comes, what you going to do when January comes? When they start all those student loans back up? What are you going to do? Not only do you got a student loan payment due now, a big one too. Now you got a brand new mortgage payment. Mm, 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 mm. When I heard that, I was like, okay, that wasn't really a shocker. I wasn't shocked about that. What nothing. I knew nothing was going to happen in September. You guys wasn't going to be able to pay. You're not going to be able to pay your student loans in September or when January comes. You're not going to have the money. If you're relieved about not paying it, that's a bad thing. Do you know how many people that understand what SMD what SMD teaches? Do you know how many people right now are taking full advantage? They're on an accelerated road right now, paying off student loan debt, no interest. Right now is the time to take advantage of that. But you slaves that are relieved, I want to warn you: the scammers are going to be coming out for you now. They're gonna be pitching you guys all kind of get fast money schemes right now. I want you guys hey, just pay attention to how many come out. Check your phone, check your DM, check your texts. They're gonna take advantage of you thinking you still don't have to pay your student loan debt. So what are you gonna do with that extra money? All these people are gonna take, especially this. What I want. I want to warn you guys of some of these type of channels, okay? Because they're out there, whatever, right? Your flag should go. Red flag should go up if they should tell you something like, now that you don't have to pay your student loan debt, instead of taking that payment, you should invest it in this. Red flag. That's a red flag. You cannot invest negative dollars. Okay, just remember that. You cannot do any of that. Like, say for example, you have about, your relieved student loan payments are not starting back up because you got maybe a couple thousand in the bank, right? But you got $50,000 in student loan debt. Okay. Now, if you open up the calculator, now say like you got $2,000 in the bank, right? And you got $50,000 in student loan debt. All right. Now I want you to open up your calculator. You guys can input your own numbers because millions of you guys got student loans. So millions of you can do this scenario. I want you to open up your calculator, put in 2,000 minus 50,000 and hit equal. I don't want you to say anything. I just want you to look at the calculator and listen to my voice. The reason why you believe you have $2,000 in your savings is because you can't see negative numbers. That's why you believe you have $2,000 in your savings account while having $50,000 in student loan debt. Do you see? Look at the calculator. Just listen to my voice. Look at the calculator. That's a big negative number. The reason why you believe you have money in your savings account is because you can't see negative numbers. You understand? So you can't invest in anything. You cannot invest negative dollars into anything. What's up, Andre? What's up, AJ, Alex? The federal government is getting us all with inflation. They are devaluing the dollar. See, and let me say something to you, Jeffrey. Okay, when you When you have the ability to see negative numbers, you'll stop believing all that stuff, like the devalue of the dollar, because no currency exists for slaves. No currency exists for slaves, none. And even the paper money they print, they clearly posted on the central bank's website how much they printed this money for. Devalue less than 14 cents. You know, when somebody says the value of the dollar is being lowered or whatever they say, right? Then you turn to them and say, which dollar are you talking about? The $100? Okay, it's less than 14 cents now. You got to understand what is the value in their brain that they're talking about. The dollar is only worth 10 cents of what it was before August 71. Well, that's not news, man. It's been that price. The dollar's always, all you guys got to do is Google how much it costs to print dollars, right? Just Google it. And then it's going to give you a link to the central banks. And then you click on that link, and then they'll show you how much each dollar is worth. That's all that's all you guys need to know. You don't need to know the other stuff. Okay. Andre Bernard Arnold is really going to pull away from Bezos now. See, I don't even know who those people are. I mean, I know who Bezos is, but Bernard, no. What's up, Sal's? But anyway, the student loan debt. I want to. When you can't see negative numbers, if you are relieved that you don't have to pay the student loan debt till January, that's a problem. That relief you're feeling, that's a warning. That means you got to stop and say, hey, why is that there? What, this is what you say to yourself. If you feel relieved from it, you got to ask yourself, what am I feeling relieved from? It has to be that student loan debt, right? Yeah, you got to take care of that. Right now is the time to do it. This whole year that they stopped everything, I want you guys to understand something. That whole year of them pausing student loan payments with interest, that's never going to happen again. As long as you and I are alive, that's never going to happen again. I want you guys to clearly understand that. This pause that you see till January, when they say that's it, if they don't extend it again, whenever they say it's it, I don't really care when they stop it, but they're going to stop it, right? It's going to stop, right? Whenever that stops, that's never going to happen again. I want all you guys in student loan debt to clearly understand something. This is a once in a lifetime. I want you guys to understand this. In order for them to pause the payments and interest, a virus had to go all over the world. Let's say that one more time. Let me say it one more time so you guys can understand the significance of what I'm saying to you. In order for the president to pause the student loan payments with interest, a virus had to infect the world. So now do you guys kind of understand why you should be taking advantage of this pause? Do you understand that now? Does that like hit home now what that means? That's how serious it is. And the reason why the majority of you don't see it that way, because you don't own the time in your life. That's why you don't see it that way. Whenever you guys calculate anything in your life, you calculate it by money. That's where you fucking up. You're calculating everything in your life by money. What about the time? You're gonna be dead one day, right? I'm pretty sure time trumps money. But when you're a slave, you don't know that. You don't know that. That's a when he pauses those student loan debt and the interest, that's a gift. Not the gift that the majority see of like being relieved of not paying their student loans payments. No, not that. That's an illusion. That's not the gift. Right now, if I was you, I would do anything and everything to pay off my student loan debt. Anything. I'd pull my hey, they're gonna take 10%. I don't care. I don't care. Don't care. It's still worth it. Every penny and penalties and pulling my retirement monies early, whatever. It's worth every penny. Every penny. I'll gladly pay. Yep, I'll gladly pay the taxes on it. Gladly. Gladly. Devaluation only exists for slaves, Sean. Yes, exactly. You know what I mean, Sean? The value of you slaves never devaluate because we need you slaves to keep financing iPhone. Exactly. That's why when you get out of that, you'll stop thinking that mindset. That's the what the slaves believe. They believe uh, money. If somebody does something over here, the value of the dollar here goes down and up and all this other stuff. It's just designed to keep them confused and in debt. I get once you're able to see negative numbers, you're able to see why it's all in place. Oh, that's why that does that. This is why taxes for this reason. This is why you can go to prison for tax evasion. This is why you have it. It just all connects. It's just like, oh, that makes okay. Oh, that's why they believe this. Oh, that's why they believe they can still put money in retirement accounts while they're having student loan debt. Oh, that's why they believe they get a match because it entices them to think they're going to get some free money when they don't have. Oh, got it. It just all connects. You guys don't know. You can't do anything. You can't own anything. You can't own anything while you have student loan debt. You can't own nothing. If you knew that, you would see what this gift really is that the president is bestowed upon you guys. I guarantee you there's a handful that wanted this thing extended so bad because they were probably almost done with their student loan debt. And then Biden comes out and says, okay, we're going to push it to January. They're like, oh my God, that's a gift. Now they're double time, probably picking up overtime, working 80 hours a week. They got a window. They got till January. Because when they turn it back on, slaves, they're gonna stack you good, nice and good, and you're gonna be in debt deeper than before with a brand new house and car, all that stuff. You guys, oh, I gotta hurry up and get this in while my student loan debts are not showing up on my credit report. Mm. The majority, they're probably pushing you guys into student loan forgiveness programs. And let me tell you something about student loan forgiveness program. That's where slaves go to die, financially die. That's where you're gonna be dead. You're gonna be there forever. You're basically walking up to the government and says, hey, I myself, I don't think I'm ever going to pay these student loan debts off. Hey, I'm at your mercy. I would do whatever you need me to do for the next 10 to 25 years in a probability of forgiving my student. They don't even promise you. They don't even promise you. You can, you can, you could be in the program for like 11 years and forget to mail in a fucking application that you were supposed to send in by a certain date. They could just cancel you. And you got to start all over. And you 10 to 20. First of all, if you get into one of the programs, you've already given up on yourself already, right off the bat. You're saying you're basically saying to the program, the government, whatever, you're saying, hey, whatever my student loan debt is, I don't believe I'm ever going to make that amount of money between 10 to 25 years of my life. I don't believe I can do it. And then you get into the program, you're in it for 10 years on top of that. And then, oh man, you ain't never getting out. The devaluation is key to acquiring wealth. Join the game. Sure is. Not sure what's the argument. I will gladly trade my 2 of 10-cent coins for 2 of your $100 bills. It's the math. Same, ain't it? I'm not sure what KB is talking about, but I put it this way, or I don't know if I'm not sure what you're saying. I know what you're trying to say, but I'm just stating what I found on the government's website. That's all I'm doing. I'm saying I went to the central bank website and I found that they made $100 bills for 14 cents. That's all I'm stating to people. Now, if I and I want you to understand, because I know maybe I know what you're saying, but if a slave believes a bill that's made for 14 cents is worth $100, I'm gonna go along with it. If I know they believe it's 100, I'm not gonna say, hey, just give me 14 cents for it. I'm not gonna do that because I know how it works. I'm still in the same economy as everybody else, but I'm on the correct side of it. I understand the purpose of it. I understand why they say we're gonna make this for 14 cents and make them believe it's 100. Okay, I totally get it. I totally get it. I'm not against it at all. The system is designed for yes, it can't work. The system could not work without slaves. So we need student loan debt. So if you guys are relieved and happy that January comes right now, and you're just happy not to be paying it, that means you're in some deep trouble. Especially if you're out there acquiring more debt because they removed it from your credit reports on purpose so you guys can go deeper in debt. That's why it's gone. It'll be back. It's coming back. It's not going anywhere. They're organizing some stuff in the background for you guys. You guys ain't going nowhere. Especially if you're one of the people right now that got a house right now and trying to take advantage of your student loan debt, not having to pay them and not showing up on your credit report. That's exactly what they wanted you to do. It's not their You think it's their business to tell you, hey, by the way, don't forget about your student loan debt? That's your problem. That's you. What he said, Biden got them all again, backed a whole year with students. Sure did. Give you guys plenty of room to dig yourself a whole entire year to dig yourselves in so deep. You know how much, you know what it's like? It's like this is what you guys don't really understand. It's like if you put a dog in a cage, right? And then it's been in his cage all his life, and then you just open the gate, and then they're just gonna run crazy. That's what you guys are doing. You guys think I'm gonna take advantage of these not paying student loan debt, and they're not showing up on my credit report. I'm gonna give me a house. I'm gonna get me all this other stuff before. That's exactly what they want you to do. Now here come the scammers. Scammers are gonna pick you guys' bones dry too. You watch. Andre says, you're right, LJ. The Blake Henry crowd are paying down all their debts in preparation for the upcoming opportunities. Look at that. Blake Henry. See, I got to look that up. I don't even know what the Blake Henry crowd is. I don't know what that is. The people that understand, when they heard Biden say that, you better believe they were jumping for joy. Now they're doubling down. Believe that. Oh, okay. We got an extra 6 months. All right, cool. Shoot. They're probably saying we needed more time to organize the new student loan structure anyway. They're probably trading it. Who knows what they're doing in the background? They're probably trading like fucking playing cards back there. You guys ain't going nowhere. Especially the ones that thought it was a relief the wrong way. No, they're not. What's up, Nick? They're not taking advantage of, you guys are not taking advantage of none of this, but guarantee the scammers, like I said earlier, watch all the YouTube channels that are going to come out suggesting what you should do since you don't have to make student loan payments. They're going to come up with all these things that you should do instead with that money. That's what they're going to, And it's not a bad thing. That's business, okay? That's your problem if you can't see negative numbers, okay? That's your problem. Like here, let me give you another example. Let me give you another example. Say like they did print negative dollars too, and they were red. Exact same green the way it looks today, but they were red bills. And I said, you said, oh, I want to go buy a house. Okay. And remember, red bills are printed. Now they're printed, right? And so they say, and let's keep it simple, okay? Say like the house is 100,000, you said you coming up with 20% to put down on the house. Okay, so you don't have to have PMI and all this other stuff, right? All the shit they tell you in the debt matrix, okay? But you got $100,000 in student loan debt. All right. But you saved up $20,000 to put down on the house. Now, in your mind, you're probably thinking, I have 20% to put down on this house. It's $100,000, $20,000, and you have it in cash, right? But if you open up the calculator and put in 20,000 minus 100,000, now you look at the calculator and listen to my voice. The reason why you believe you have 20% to put down on a house is because you can't see negative numbers. That's why you believe that. Now, imagine if you had it's because 20,000 minus 100,000 is negative 80,000. Now, imagine if you had negative $80,000 in cash, red dollars. Okay. You had it in cash, but they were red because they're negative, right? Now, I want you to imagine yourself going to the bank and telling the bank and say, hey, here's the 20, but here's the other 80, but you have it in negative red dollars. See if the bank will accept that for the purchase of that house. Because that's what you think if you're a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage. If that's what you think. If you think you're a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage, that's the same thing. If you take it to the bank and say, hey, bank, I'm gonna pay off this house, they're gonna say, okay, what are you gonna pay us off with? 80,000 negative dollars? I already gave you 20. Here's negative 80,000 more to make it even 100. They're gonna look at you like you're crazy. What are you talking about? You can't buy a house with negative dollars. That's why you can't buy a house while have student loan debt. That's why you can't do that. More opportunity to pay down principal. Sure is. Andre says they are dumping them. Apparently the government will be taking over the service. That's what it looks like to me. This works out for everybody, really. Slaves think they're getting a break. People that understand it, they're doing whatever it takes to pay them student loan debts off. They're not caring what slaves think. They're picking up pizza jobs, delivery jobs. Hey man, ain't you a lawyer? Yeah, then what you doing? What you doing working for Amazon Prime delivering packages? Hey, I ain't got time to explain to you, slave. Ain't got time to explain to you. And it gives them plenty of time to finish doing the organization, whatever they're doing, something back there. People, they got services dropping out. This is how I look at it when I hear stuff like when I hear services decide to say, oh, we don't want to do it anymore. You don't want no more of that guaranteed money? See, stuff like that doesn't make sense to me. Oh, we decided not to renew our contract. Renew your contract for guaranteed money. You cannot lose. You cannot lose. But you deciding to get out? Oh yeah, there's something else going on back there. Believe that. Something else is happening. They probably come in and say, hey, by the way, you guys been making a killing. You know what? We're going to take the majority now. Okay. We're taking the majority. They probably like, oh no, it ain't worth all that headache we've been making trillions. Now you're going to knock us down to millions? Nah, we out. Who knows? That's just my opinion. Okay. I don't know anything. So loan payments frozen until January and the CDC eviction ban until October. Yeah, pushing it. They're just kicking the can down the road. Ding, 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 ding. You can still see the can. Like people that, when you can see negative numbers, I'm telling you, I don't care how far you guys kick the can. I can see the can. But I don't, and again, I don't even really need to even see it. I heard you kick it. I could be blind. All I gotta do is hear you guys kick the can, and I know you're slaves. All I can see now is that the inevitable is being delayed. Exactly. That's all. I don't know. Maybe January's something special in January. Something's gonna happen. I mean, I'm not. This is just my opinion. Something's gonna happen around December time or something, because it got to happen before January. Because I highly doubt if they extend it again. They don't really need no. They don't really need to do that again right now. Let's get through the. Let's get all the slaves tied up in mortgages right now. Right, why it's hot, because right now slaves are in a frenzy. They think they're missing something. They think they're missing a hot housing market, and they got student loan debt. They think they're missing something. I don't know what it is, but anyway, they're getting them dug. Make sure they dig themselves nice and deep. And then when it comes to taxes, they know the majority of them are going to lie all over their tax reports. They're going to lie all over it. And then come January, when those student loan debt, I don't know. I don't know. Trying to delay the inevitable. May you live in interesting times. Blake Henry is an acronym for man, woman who is a high earner, not rich. Gotcha. Okay. I never knew such a term existed. Zero debt is real freedom. Sure is. The government is pushing them out. Oh, shout out to Naima. Thank you. $1.99 super chat. Thank you very much. Hey, LJ. Long time no see, Naima. Also makes it easier to do partial forgiveness. Yeah. They probably give them one more. Because they go, even if they forgave $10,000 of student loan debt, they're going to make you guys jump through so many hoops to get that $10,000. It's not going to be automatic. They're going to make you guys jump through some kind of hoop. You got to do some kind of work for something. Because even $10,000 won't even help most of you anyway. Even if they took $10,000 off of everybody's student loan debt, that wouldn't change a thing for the majority of people. You still ain't going to pay your student loan debt off. You got $100,000, right? And they forgive 10. Now you're down to 90. If you wasn't going to pay off 100, you ain't going to pay off 90. Got to get the slaves to buy a bunch of stuff during the oh yeah, that's right. Forgot Christmas is coming up. Forgot it. Totally forgot about that. Christmas, Thanksgiving. They have to have a warm, nice place to have Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's right. Because I don't care. Listen, I don't care how hard times are. People will go into debt for Christmas. They will go, I don't care how much it costs. I'll refinance the home. I'll dip into my retirement. I'm going to make sure everybody has a nice Christmas. They will go into debt for Christmas. Can you imagine if they turn student loan debt payments back on? You know how much that would cut into Christmas money? Right after the holidays. Perfect. Gwen says, I'm positive that this will be the last. Yeah, I'm positive. I think that this most definitely. Wealthy are removing their capital, placing it where it will not be taxed. Don't worry about what that means, slave. If you have student loan debt, don't worry about anything Andre just said. This statement right here has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with you, because if you're in debt, it is 100% impossible. I repeat, it is 100% Impossible to save on taxes while you're in debt. That's impossible. Okay, I just want you guys to know that. So those of you guys that you think you're writing off taxes on certain things, no, you're not. No, you're not. You think you are, but you're not. Especially if you have student loan debt. They said the last essential for student loan. Yeah, they said that. They'll be nice and ready by January. Everything will be in place for the new system, however they're going to do it. Trust me, they're going to be able to contact you. They'll get your attention. They will always be able to get your attention about them student loans. Yes, they can. Increase the interest rates. Holidays around the corner. Slaves get their pockets right for Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales. They sure do. I forgot. They don't want to miss those sales. They probably make them add the 10K to the taxable. Yeah, probably will. Ain't nothing free. Slaves just will not accept that. Nothing is free. Nothing. My question is, how are they going to account for the forgiveness? Somebody had to pay for it. Loans don't just go away like they're going to pay for it, Dark Man. They pay for it. Just like, for example, like PMI, VA funding fees, all that stuff that's tied into subprime mortgages, they pay for that. They don't know that they pay for all that because they don't know what that means. They don't know what it means to get a subprime mortgage. They don't know what it means to get an FHA mortgage. FHA mortgages, 9 times out of 10, if you got student loan debt, you have an FHA mortgage. FHA mortgages are for people that with student loan debt. Because you guys don't know you can't buy a house while having student loan debt. So since you don't know that, they take advantage of you with a subprime mortgage. That's how that works. That's just business, nothing personal. And for some reason, I know for a fact 2022 is going to be my year. I can feel it. The loans will be paid with debt, which means higher taxes and inflation. Yeah. Your time, 2022, just in time. You're right, Gabriel. 2022 is my year. I can feel it. Debtor prison may be on the way. All new loans have higher interest rates, so the next generation will pay. Man, I'm telling you. And when I heard that, first of all, I wasn't shocked. We're extended it. Oh, I knew that. I mean, we're in the middle of trying to figure out the eviction moratorium. Then you're gonna slap them with some return of student loan debt. No, you can't. You can't stack people like that. That would probably had snapped something, right? Because slaves are already on edge about getting kicked out. Now, if you said, by the way, while we're on vacation, while we're on our summer break, right? We're gonna let that land on your lap too. Something would have snapped. Okay. And at the same time, they're on vacation. No, you can't. No. Okay, extend it. Okay, there's limits. Believe that. We need slaves, we need you. Okay, we need you. None of this could work. Listen, none of this, if you could see negative numbers, none of this could work. That's important that you guys do the things you do. That's important. Buy houses while you have student loan debt. That's important. It's important to try to finance a house while having student loan debt, while at the same time during the whole time calling yourself a homeowner. That is important. That is important for you to believe you own the equity in a house that you didn't even have the money to buy. That's important. So that's why whenever I hear somebody talk about the devaluation of the dollar and all this other stuff, you know what I say to myself? They obviously can't see negative numbers because they wouldn't be talking like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know why they're talking like that. But when I hear somebody, I just want to stop them and say, hey, by the way, I can see. So you can stop talking like that. That's what I would say to somebody. Talk, hey, man, you know, the value of the dollar because of what happened over in Japan. I say, hey, stop right there. I'm just letting you know that right now I can see. So you can stop talking like that. I know why you're talking like that. But I'm just telling you, when you're talking to me, you don't have to talk like that. Shout out to O3Z for the $10 super chat. Thank you. Appreciate the content and the message. Thank you. Thank you. Slave's about to get sick once again. Man. And you do it to yourselves. You do it to yourselves. Let me see something. Did I make that? Let me see. Desktop. Oh, oops. Desktop. Now, if that'd be hilarious to do. Let me see. I was picturing. red money, you know? Oh, it won't let me do it that way. Crap. Okay. Anyway. Share screen. Window. Oh. If money looked like that, right? Say like they made negative dollars. Okay. Say like they made negative dollars and it looked like this. This would give you guys would have so much of this money. You guys would automatically know something's wrong. You guys would be able to see everybody who's in debt, who's talking shit, you would be able to see if everybody was required to carry this money for every dollar of debt you're in. They couldn't hide it. That's why it's important that they never would do that. That's important. This is how it looks if it was physical. Okay. If it was physical, you would automatically see nobody could pretend to have money, right? Nobody would be able to pretend to have money. It would be impossible for them because they would be overflowing with red dollars. That's just be hilarious. That's funny to even think about, honestly. That would be funny. You would see somebody driving down the street in a brand new Ferrari, but red bills just be flying out of it. Just nonstop red bills, nonstop. You wouldn't have room for a passenger. You barely have room for the engine and the seats. It wouldn't matter what kind of car they're driving either. It wouldn't matter. Everybody could see it. If the red bills had to be printed, you had to have them on you. Like if you reach to a certain amount of debt, you would have to have a minimum of X amount of red dollars on you, so everybody would know that you're maxed out because you could only carry so much, right? But if you were just maxed out in debt, you would be required to carry, say like 100,000 in hundreds, right? All the time, everybody would know you are at least above $100,000 in debt, right? Oh, that would be hilarious, man. But again, I wouldn't want that because I like the way the system is. I like it. I like it, man. You guys, the student loan debt, I'm here to warn you because the economy scavengers, they're coming for you, man. They're about to come and pick your bones dry. Because you guys think you have extra money now that you don't have to make payments. So you're going to be spending it. They're out there. They're just circling you guys. You guys don't know. You're like in a big ass bowl, right? And if you just look up, you'll see the vultures. They're circling you right now. You just because you guys never look up. They're about to pick your financial bones dry. All you got to do is type in YouTube right now. Just type in YouTube, Biden extends student loan debt. Look how many. I'm sure there's a whole bunch out. And this shit just came out yesterday. I guarantee you there are hundreds of videos right now of people telling, hey, you relieved? Oh, you're still going to have money. So this is what you should do with it. This is what they're going to tell you. And by the time student loans are due in January, you will be making a profit on this, and then you just use that money to pay off the student loans. Exactly, it's the same program, slave. That's the same program. They say that to all you guys. That's how they sell you. That's business. It's nothing personal. It's nothing personal. It's just business. Nothing personal. If you can't see negative numbers, that's your problem. Yeah, they need it down. Hmm. See, and I'm still learning that. I still don't know why. See that part right there? I don't know why they need it down. Okay, so it's still piecing together for me. But sometimes when you're able to see negative numbers, let me tell you guys something. It all starts piecing together, and then sometimes things are revealed to you like, oh yeah, I'm not talking about that. But trust me when I say this, there's limits. Everything starts to be revealed, and you're like, oh yeah, I ain't talking about that. I am not talking about that. No, sir. None of that. There are limits. You understand why pieces are where and what to do, what not to do. You understand. Like I'll give you a hint, right? Let me give you a hint. Anything like financial crimes, anything that could take away the time in your life, that's a sign right there. There's a reason for that. You're like, God damn, if I do that, that shit is severe. Like tax evasion, right? That's severe. Once you can see negative numbers, you go, oh, that's why. Got it. Trying to counterfeit the US currency, that's severe. You're like, oh, once you see negative numbers, you go, oh, that's why. That's why you don't do that. Got it. Got it. The big thing is because you don't have to. That's the real reason, right? You don't have to do that. But that is the backbone of the whole economy. Isn't that obvious? That's obvious. That's the backbone of the money and the taxes. That's obvious. That's the backbone. Don't fuck with that. Got it. Got it. Okay. You can go to prison for how long? Oh yeah, got it. Okay. I see why you're trying to take away that much time in my life for doing that. This is how I look at it. Oh, oh, got it. Okay, I won't do that. Robinhood investors need a liquidity event. See, I'm still learning. Phone about to die. We'll catch the replay. Thank you, Omanike. Appreciate it. Lower the DTI allows for more bank lending, i.e., mortgages, car notes. Interesting. Slaves focus on salary instead of net worth. They do. They focus in on money instead of time. Because I promise you, if you change, if you stop focusing on money and you focus more on the time in your life, your whole financial life is going to change for the better. Need to move inventory. Yes, they do. Government needs transaction to collect taxes. Once you change that and you understand time is the most, your whole financial life is going to change. It's going to change forever. The economy could not function without us. We are the economy. It could not function without us. Which side of it is totally up to you. Which side of the economy you want to be on is totally, that's up to you. If you can't see negative numbers, the economy is against you. If you can see negative numbers, it's for you. The economy favors those who can see negative numbers. That's who the economy favors. Period. That's how it's worked. That's how it's always worked. And always will work. This is never going to change ever. This is never going to change. Anybody listening to this right now, I'm telling you right now, what I'm telling you right now is never going to change in your entire life. Your whole generations of life is never going to change ever. I mean, what you see, yeah, of course, time will okay, things get advanced. Of course, that changes, but the base, it will never change. The things I say right now on this channel will withstand the hands of time. It won't matter what year it is. When you listen to these videos, I might state something that happened during a particular time during the video, but the basics of it, everything I say right now will be valid well after I'm dead. I heard a slave say this: as long as I own, they will never be broke. I don't even know what that means, because you got to remember, slaves' definition of own is not the correct definition. They don't know. Slaves don't know that they don't own a house with a 30-year mortgage. They don't know that. But yet they believe themselves to be homeowners. Why do they believe it? Because they can't see negative numbers. That's why they're saying that. That's why they're saying things that are not mathematically true. You notice how I can say this out loud for everybody to hear, right? You hear me saying they can't hear me. I know it's weird. I know it's weird for me to say it out loud. Like, what do you mean? They can hear your voice? Well, I know they can hear my voice. They know sound is coming out of my mouth, but they don't understand what I'm saying. Hell, I wouldn't have known if I was still in debt matrix and hear homeowner. I automatically assume that they have a mortgage. That when it's not true. You can't be a homeowner if you have a mortgage. You can't. I have a friend that they cut the unemployment money and he's mad to have to go back to work. Yeah, it's just a matter of time because you guys are this is what unconscious slaves why you don't want this is the real reason why you don't want to go back to work. Okay. You're never going to hear this anywhere. Okay. The reason why you guys don't want to go back to work because you enjoy not working. This is the first time probably in your entire life that you've ever not worked. That's the real reason why you guys don't want to go back to work. This is the first time you have ever been not working this long and still be able to buy stuff and eat and stuff like that. You have never experienced this. That's why you guys don't want to go back to work. That's why there's so many jobs available because you guys are like, damn, man, this feels so good. You guys don't know that you have that. But since you can't see negative numbers, you don't know that. So all they're going to do is they're just going to cut off the money and then you guys have to go back to work. This is not a future telling thing. This is just the obvious. You go everywhere right now. Jobs available, jobs available. Why is that? Because they don't want to go back to work. You guys have never felt that much freedom ever. You can have it, but you don't know you can have it. Now you can do two things at this point. You could say, okay, I'm gonna figure out how I can keep this life, or you're just gonna go back to what you was before and say, oh, okay, that you're just gonna accept that it's never gonna happen again. It's totally up to you. It's your choice. But you guys will have to go back to work. And the jobs that were there before are not going to be available because the whole economy is different now. The economy is never going back to what it was before 2020. Those days before 2020, those days are gone forever. They're never coming back, ever. Exactly. False sense of freedom. That should motivate them to just pay off their debts, but it doesn't because they don't know. They don't know. They don't know to stop and say, hey, wait a minute. Who am I depending on right now for my survival? It's because it sure ain't me. Is somebody really holding me down? Nope. Nobody. Government ain't holding you down. Government do you wrong and all this. Hey man, get out of that. Get out. Nobody's doing. No, nobody's doing anything. You just can't see negative numbers. That's why you think the way you guys think. And I'm not even putting you guys down. I want you guys to understand something. I was in the debt matrix. I was a slave, college educated, six-figure earning slave. That was me. I didn't look like a slave. If you saw where I lived and what kind of car I drive and with the clothes I wore, you could never tell I was a slave. You could never tell. In shape, haircut, shaved, whatever, nice clothes, nice apartment, nice Lexus, all that stuff. Watch, smell good, all that. I was just a fixed up slave. That's it. Nothing more than that. Get just like everybody else, get on the dating apps. They want to know what your occupation, how much you earn, blah, blah, blah. You put in all those. It doesn't say, no question is that, but am I a slave or not? Are you a slave? Don't you wish they could ask that question? Nobody could do. I mean, that could never happen. But I'm just saying that'd be nice because you can't tell. You can't tell a slave by a profile. When they're going on dating apps, how many people are going to put in bad information? How many people are going to put in the real information on the dating app? They'll never get a date. What if they put in the area, hey, yeah, I look good, but I'm about $500,000 in debt with between my mortgage and my cars and my student loan debt I ain't paid off in 20, 30 years, and my Parent Plus loan and my 5, 6, 7, 8 credit cards. And I'm about $500,000 in debt, but I do love outdoor walks and bike rides at the park. And I do love going on vacation with $500,000 in debt. I don't care what parks you like to walk in. I don't care where you like to go on vacation. If you are $500,000 in debt, we don't need to be talking because it's an absolute waste of time. Most of you guys going after these high valued people. This is here. I'm gonna give you guys a little test so you can. Once you test one of these high value college educated people that you deem so highly of them because they did all this, right? This is all you got to say. This is all you got to do. All right. You say it like this. Go up to them and say, call them up and say, hey man, did you hear about Biden pushing the student loan payments back till January? See how they respond. If they respond with relief, like, oh my God, thank God, they're just like you. Yeah, they make more money than you. The only difference between you and them, they got bigger payments. If they got a bigger house, that means they got a bigger mortgage payment. If they got a nicer car, that means their car payment is more than you, but you guys still both have mortgage payments. You guys still both have car payments, and you guys, they might have higher credit card limits, but you guys are still both making credit card payments. But if they breathe a sigh of relief, I don't care what it. I don't look and find somebody. Also, this you might not think this mean anything, but find somebody that you think has a successful business that you think that's making so much money. You go up to them and the same thing and say, "Hey, man, did you hear about that Biden relief in January?" See if they go, "Oh my God!" Everything. If they act relieved or they're happy that they don't have to pay student loan payments, everything you see in front of you that they're showing you is an illusion. They don't own any of it. They're just the caretaker of it. The bank knows who to go to when it's time to collect on those properties. That's all they're there for. They can call themselves whatever they want. Homeowner, business owner, business pioneer. They can make up fucking names. It don't matter. They're just the caretakers of the property, especially if they're relieved with student loan debt. Because if they're happy and relieved with student loan debt, you know what that means? That means student loan debt is older than everything else in their life by default. Because everybody usually goes to college early, right? So you got to think, if they got student loan debt and they're 10 years, say like they've been in their business 10 years and they're relieved about student loan debt, that should automatically tell you that their student loan debt is older than their business. It's not as successful as you think it is. Because if it was, the student loan debt would be gone. It wouldn't be still there. Oh man, I can't remember the name of my cologne. I cannot remember. I have to go up and look. I wasn't a big cologne guy. I just mainly got it because my woman, she liked to smell a certain cologne, and we picked out some, so I can't remember. Well, if you have to, yes, if you have to. It's a big difference if you want to and have to, exactly. Yeah, man. I had to talk about this. I wasn't gonna come on today because I came on yesterday, but I saw that extension. I saw you guys send me some. Few of you people sent me. Few guys sent me. What Biden did. I'm like, wow. Oh, slaves, man, they do you guys just oof. And the reason why I can feel it so good when I tell you guys, even when I say it, because that was me. I kept my student loans for 10 years. They were doing the same thing to me. Same thing. And I remember trying to avoid them like the plague, man. I didn't even want to know what the balance was. That's how gone I was. I didn't even want to know the balance. And when they get you to the point to where you don't even want to know the balance, they got you right there. That's it. You're done. You're pretty much done. If they get you right there mentally, that you don't, as soon as you don't want to know the balance of your student loan debt, they got you right there. You pretty much locked in for life right there. It starts mentally. One second. They get you mentally. That's it. That's it. You're locked in. And that's a bad place to be, man. That's a bad place to be. Imagine, and sometimes when I'm sitting back, sometimes I imagine the people that didn't even graduate that got student loan debt. Got student loan debt, didn't get any degree, never finished, probably went back several times, just never had in them to finish. Now they got student loan debt without even a degree to use, because a lot of people that go and get student loan debt and get their degrees, they're not even working in the field that they got their degree in. They're no different. That's no different than the people that went and got student loan debt and didn't get a degree at all. It's the same thing. They still owed student loan debt. And if they got you like that right now, man, man, if I was listening, say like this, I'm gonna give you guys an example. If I was listening to this, and this is just me, and I was in debt and I heard somebody talking the way I was talking, and I had a good size retirement account, I would immediately pay my student loan debts off with it. That's what I would do. Especially like last year, they allowed you to take out 100,000 tax deferred, no penalty, no penalty and tax deferred. That's almost the same type of gift of when they pause student loan uh payments and interest. That's damn near the same gift. Those kind of gifts, I'm telling you, in order for the president to give those kind of gifts, a killer virus had to cover the world. When I say that, I just want you guys to understand the level of significance of what that really means. It's not that little feeling of, oh my God, I don't have to pay student loan debt till January. No, no, it's way bigger. That's for slaves to see that. The bigger thing is on the back end. They're basically saying, hey, by the way, you see what it took. I mean, if they read between the lines, all you got to do is read between the lines. You see what it took for me to say this, to do what I'm doing right now. You see what it takes? A killer virus to infect the world for me to do what I'm about to do. That's how you got to listen to it. Disqualified if I don't see zero. Exactly. Disqualified. That is why they did it, LJ. Excuse me. Man. But believe it or not, you guys are going to pay for it. Even if they forgive some money, listen, even if they forgive it, you guys are going to pay for it. Okay, so you guys can understand the people that understand, that's basically can see negative numbers. When this happened, first of all, they own their property. Okay, they own it. So just because a killer virus stopped the world and stopped people from paying their rent, the people that understand, that can see negative numbers, they already knew that. Okay, by you not paying rent they're not gonna lose their property because you don't pay your rent for a year. Those kind of people don't do that. Doesn't happen to them. Okay. They know that all they got to do is just wait. They're going to get their money back and you guys are going to pay for it. People that understand know they might be losing today, but down the road, they're going to get it triple, if not 4 times back. Do you understand? That's how it works. Only the people you see losing shit right now, they was already behind before the virus hit. This just accelerated the process. This just accelerated what was already there. When you hear somebody say, "Oh man, I lost my business," whatever, you don't know to ask the question, "Hey, were you already behind on payments? How many times did you refinance your business? How many times you do that? You got student loan debt? Yeah? Oh, okay. That tells everything you need to know." Stimulus forbearance and the rest to allow some to escape. Will allow stimulus forbearance. And the rest, some to escape. Yeah, they can't catch everybody. All right. It's I mean, again, what I keep saying about it is, it's just you you're doing it to yourself. Nobody's doing anything to you. You're doing it to yourself because you can't see negative numbers. That's what it is. This is the answer. I want you guys to all clearly understand something. The ability to see negative numbers is the answer. That is the answer. Without a doubt, 100% true. And I can prove everything I'm saying. Once that happens, you see the true purpose of student loan debt. You see the true purpose of it. Oh, got it. That's why you can't bankrupt it. Got it. Got it. Understood. That's why you can't bankrupt IRS debt and penalties. Got it. I had a guy, I was when I was first starting doing this, man, I had this guy that he was working on my transmission. He owned his own transmission business. Okay. And I'm debt free at this time. So I'm, but I'm just really starting to talk to people about it, starting to open up more about it and help people. Anyway, him and I got on the, the debt subject, and he was, and I asked, man, how long you been on this business? He was like, almost 30 years. It was passed to me by my dad, blah, blah, blah. But I swear to you, I swear to you guys, okay, when you don't know this, when you realize time is the most valuable thing on earth, all you have to do is see how people treat their own time. It will tell you how they run their business. Okay. It will tell you how. So, anyway, I would come in there, and the reason why I kind of like this dude, so I let him do my truck, right? But I would come into his business. Sometimes somebody would be at the front desk. I would sit there for 10, 15 minutes without somebody walking out. The area, the lobby area, was just parts everywhere. I mean, you just got to pay attention to stuff like that. Anyway, we start talking, and we get on taxes. I forgot exactly how we got on taxes and house, right? Anyway, but he owned a house in a nice part in Bellevue in Seattle, Washington. That's the more upscale people live over in that side of the water, right? And he said that the house was worth about 6, 7, 100,000, but he had about a half a million in taxes owed to the IRS. And he had he was telling me about the lawyers that he had to I guess keep him at bay. I don't really understand how that type of shit work, and I really don't know what lawyers could do for you if you owe that much in tax. I don't really get it. What can they do for you? But anyway, he was paying them to do whatever they need to do, keep him at bay. But when he told me about the house, I said, "Hey man, why don't you, since you own your own business, why don't you just sell that house, and then you can be out from under the IRS. You could be free." And he was like, "Nah, man, I've been living there for so long." And I said, "Well, they're gonna take it anyway because it's your house." He's like, "Nah, man, I got it in my mom's name and da da da." I'm like, "Why are you doing all that?" I said, Once you pay the IRS off, you have a business. You can save up enough money to buy you another house." "Oh man, house prices never gonna be there. This area is this and that." I mean, he was not, listen, this is my point, is this. He was not scared or nervous to be a $500,000 in debt to the IRS. Not even nervous, not even nervous. And he was an older gentleman too. I said, "How long you been doing this?" He said, "About 30 years. I'm thinking in my head, 30 years? And you owe the IRS $500,000 in debt, and how do you even sleep at night?" Can you imagine? I couldn't, like, honestly, the way I am today, I don't think I could have a 300, 400,000, $400,000 mortgage sitting over my head. I just can't do it, man. I can't do it. Let alone, say, like, when people go finance cars and the car is like 40, 50,000, a $50,000 car you financed. 50 grand plus taxes and fees and everything else they add up in that shit. Think about how someone can completely change their life with the government actions completely change your life. Mm. You guys have no idea how many of you are. Do you know at what rate they're creating you slaves right now? You guys have no idea. You want to kind of get an idea of the rate they're creating you slaves? Go look at the world clock. Go look at the U.S. Debt clock. Type in Google. Go to the debt clock and watch that big clock. That's how fast they're doing it right there. See how fast that clock is moving? That's how fast they're making you slaves right now. That shit's like pedal to the metal right now, pedal to the metal. And by them delaying this, I mean, now they're through the metal. They're damn near running the car like Fred Flintstone. They can't get any faster, I don't think. Mm. I mean, you guys don't even get it. They are not messing around creating you slaves. You guys are just, man, it's weird. It's just the weirdest thing to see. It's like, wow, you don't know. You should be taking advantage of the. When is the last time you can't walk up to a slave and say, "Hey, slave"? When is the last time you heard the president pause student loan debt payments and interest? When was the last time you heard that happen? Not only pause it, but pause that shit for over a year. When's the last time you've seen that happen? When? Never. When's the last time you saw the president said nobody has to pay rent in the United States of America? When's the last time you heard that before? When? Then what the fuck are you doing? That's how you have to say it to slaves. You got to use curse words because curse words somehow get slaves' attention when you use curse words. But they use a different way. Like, damn, why does it sound so rude? Because that's an important point I'm trying to make to you, and I need to do something to get your attention. People have been conditioned to, yeah, I mean, I get it. I totally get it. Student loans frozen till January. Good, gives me more time to pay off the interest free. Sure is. Pay them off interest free. It'll be paid by February. See what I'm saying? Very few people like her know what to do. Oh, that is a blessing. Hey, girl, you going out with me? Nope. What you doing? Paying off student loan debt? Oh, that's dumb, girl. You gonna die. You ain't gonna have any fun. Shut up, slave. Shut up with that talk. Shut up, slave. Shut up. I'm in my 20s. Don't worry about it. I have plenty of time. I'll be doing it free as I own myself. Especially if you get this information when you're in your 20s and when your friends and when you guys get in your 30s and 40s and they still have student loan debt and they see you're going to be carefree, kid free, living life, doing whatever you want to do. They're going to be so sleeping as long as you want. Oh man, sleep is for suckers. Only people that don't get sleep say that. Trust me. I promise you that. When you hear somebody says, "Oh, I'll sleep when I die," or "Sleep is for suckers," that's for people that don't get sleep. Because if you get good sleep, it's nothing like that. You wake up refreshed, stress free. Your body did what it needed to do. That's why you need to be sleep, because your body needs you in a temporary small coma so it can do whatever it needs to do to your body. Whatever damage that you did to it during the day with food and bad everything, it needs to fix it. And it needs you to be asleep to do it, obviously. Because if nobody can explain why we have to go to sleep, I don't care. I ain't okay. I'm gonna do the exact opposite of what slaves think sleep is. That's what I'm gonna do. The exact opposite. Even with this information, they'll think they'll have extra money to spend on something else. Of course, that's part of the plan, Dorian. And if this is you and you're listening to me and saying, oh, screw you, LJ, I'm still going to go spend the money, that's exactly what we need you to do. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Just because I'm sharing this information, I don't want the majority to know this information. They'll never find me. Do you guys think a slave knows to look for SMD? Slaves don't know to look for me. They don't know SMD exists. I don't care if another channel got multi-millions of subscribers. If they're a slave, they're just a slave with multi-millions of subscribers. That's it. Nothing more than that. Just a whole bunch of people following the slave. That's it. Nothing more than that. I have family associates tell me when bill collectors call, I just ignore it. I know, right? If that's you, that you don't, you're scared to look, you're scared to answer the phone that you make monthly payments on. If you're scared, that's only slaves are scared that, listen, only slaves are scared to answer the phone that they make payments on. Bill collectors don't have to, bill collectors are the hound dogs of the people you owe money to. That's why you're running. Just anytime a bill collector, you might as well why don't you change your ringtone to hound dogs. Anytime you know a bill collector, change it to a hound dog so you can get used to it. Those are the hound dogs that you owe them money. Where you think you're going? Scared to answer your own phone, and then you tell people out in public. And if this is you, say like this, you're like, girl, I'm not going to answer that phone. That's probably a bill collector. And if every one of your friends say the same thing, that's why you guys are friends. You guys got all bill collectors after you. Changing your phone number everybody has one of those people in their family that has a member of their family have to change their phone number every single month or two. We know why you're changing your phone number, because you're running for bill collectors. That's why you're changing your phone number so much. When you don't have bill collectors, you keep the same number for years. Why would you change it? Only slaves change their number. So that's the reason why you guys change. So that's why some people, you just don't bother putting their name in your phone, because you know their number is going to get changed. Bill collectors. Here's another hint. If you come across somebody that has moved more times in 1 year than you have in your whole life, they're running from something. They probably their credit report will tell you why they're moving so much. It just says, I'm tired of hearing about the low wages. Slaves make plenty of money in this country. Just pay exactly. Just pay your debts. Exactly. Those are hound dogs. Change it to hound dog. Woo, 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 woo. And then hopefully one day, and I mean this shit, if you ever want to break out of it, you have to treat yourself that way. Change that to hound dogs. And then maybe one day you're going to be like, wait a minute, I am tired of hearing hound dogs every time my phone rings. How do I stop that? S&D told me that shit like way back in 2021. He told me the answer. If you make more than 35,000 a year, you are in the top 1% of the earners worldwide. Sure is. You think a slave will ever understand that? Because if you Google this, listen, if you Google what Andre is just saying, go see what Google tells you. Google will say you're in poverty. That's not true. I mean, it's true, but it's not. You guys don't understand. When Google gives you the reply, they're telling you about people in debt that earn 35,000. Okay, they're talking about people with car payments, mortgage payments, 15 credit cards, all maxed out, student loans. Somebody making 35,000 with all that debt, yeah, they're in poverty. There is no, you don't know to ask the question, what about a person that's debt free making $35,000 a year? What about that person? That's different. but you don't know the answer to that question because you can't see negative numbers. And if say like this, say like you have student loan debt and you make $35,000 a year, yes, you are in poverty. Yes. Hello, Margaret. Margaret says one of my employees has an outgoing message where you have to dial two random numbers before it will connect to her voicemail. She never answers the phone. You see? You see what I'm saying? What you guys don't get is this. When you're not in the debt matrix, we know why somebody's phone would be set up like that. You are obviously running from somebody. Obviously. You know, when I get random numbers, I don't answer the phone to random numbers because I know it's just salespeople or something. And you know what I do? I just block it. Every number that pops up, I just block it. That's it. Whatever. Then hopefully they'll just go on to the easiest fish like you guys. And I can't imagine having to run away from people I owe money to for the rest of my. I couldn't even imagine that. Imagine your check being garnished. I've ne- my check has never been garnished in my entire life. I had never allowed that to happen ever. But can you imagine working a job 40 hours a week and on top of taxes being taken out, on top of taxes, you get your check garnished on top of that. Mm, 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 mm. You ain't lying, Jeffrey. Sleep is good. I'm here to tell you guys when you're wrapped up in the debt matrix and you think busy, 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 busy is always good. Sleep is for suckers. I'm telling you, that's a lie too. That's a complete lie. Sleep is good. I always say, and I keep repeating this, we are required to sleep. That's a requirement. Nobody can explain this requirement, but it is a requirement. As soon as it gets dark, our bodies naturally say, hey, it's time to lay down. Nobody, do you ever stop and say, hey, body, why do I have to lay down? It's not going to explain it to you. It just is. It sucks being the boss who has to process the garnish. Man, I bet. Ooh, I bet. Ooh, ooh. And you know, so crazy. I think about it as an employer, you by default know who's in financial trouble. By default, you know which one of your employees. This is what they probably don't know, right? Because they don't think like this. If you have to process their garnishment, that means you automatically know that they're in financial trouble. So when they and I know this is if you're an employer, this is how you got to think. You come across a person, say like you have somebody working around money. Okay. They're an employee and they work around money. And then all of a sudden you get a garnishment of their checks that you have to process because that's a law. You have to do it. Now, as an employer, you got to be careful of that employee because now they're making less money. They're more susceptible to embezzlement. And slaves that they don't, you guys don't know what you're saying to your employer. You guys have no idea. Some have the Social Security's garnished for this. Oh my goodness gracious. Mm. Especially when you see them pull up to work in a new car every couple years. Oh my God, I know. See, and this is what it is, Margaret. This is what it is. And I really want people that understand this to really accept it, right? The reason why slaves do that is because they don't know. They don't know what they're telling their employer who's processing their garnishments from their check. They don't know that you rolling up in a brand new car, what like especially if an employer is processing a garnished check and the employee rolls up with a brand new car. That makes absolutely no sense. Because you got to remember, slaves will get their check garnished, but they don't want their lifestyle to change. They want it to stay the same. So some people, some of them turn to stealing and skimming time, and it just naturally happens. You function a lot better when you get good night's sleep. You sure do. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the economy, the housing market, how it would be without you guys slaves? Can you imagine what the housing market would be like? It couldn't exist. If they denied everybody with student loans, felt like if you had a student loan, you couldn't get a mortgage. What do you think the housing market would do? What would you think happened if they said, you know what, we're kicking everybody out of a house that has student loan debt? What do you think? What do you think would happen to the housing market? Everything would crash. Everything. It could not sustain a hit like that. No. So if that has to happen, you guys have to believe that your homeowners with student loan debt. You have to believe that. How they do that? Subprime mortgages. 3.5% down. You can borrow some money from your friends. They only take 1% or 0.5% of your total student loan debt due. They do everything they need to do to get you into what you think is home ownership. Everything. They just roll out the red carpet for you. What are the blockades? Okay, first we know you ain't got no money. You barely gonna have any money down, but we got to make you pay something. We got to make you pay something so you take at least a slight bit of responsibility for the property, right? You got to do something. Yeah, we'll take some from your family and friends. You ain't gonna you have to own them, not us. Whatever, they tell them, hey, borrow some money from your friend so you could show that you have at least 2 months of payments inside your bank account. They even tell you guys but they already know you don't have any money. So if you have to borrow some money from your friends to pretend on a bank account that you have enough money to cover the next 2 months, you're only fooling yourself. You're only fooling yourself. You don't stop and say, hey, wait a minute. I really don't have I really don't have 2 months of mortgage payments. So why would I pretend? Exactly. Why? Because you guys can't see negative numbers. If you could, you would know you can't buy a house with student loan debt. But since you guys don't know, since you can't see negative numbers, you guys don't know that. So loan agents do some shady shit to get loans through under. Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Honestly, Margaret, it's business. This is what I say like this. If whatever they do is legal and people just call it shady, it's legal. Okay. If it's legal, it's legal. Shady, to me, shady is, I say, I don't even want, it's business. Anything outside of not legal is just my opinion. Okay, I mean, anything, if whatever they're doing, if it falls inside of legal parameters, it's legal. Anything out, my feelings about what they're doing legally are irrelevant, totally irrelevant. Totally, it doesn't matter how I feel about what they're doing, because it's clear. If they could see, first of all, if they could see negative numbers, they would know better than to ever sign up for a subprime mortgage. They would know right off the bat. I would never do that. Why would I do that? That makes absolutely no sense. I will never be a homeowner if I got a subprime mortgage. Right. But if you don't know that, you don't know that. Right. I get it. I totally get it. I get why they need to. I get why they need to believe they're homeowners. The housing market couldn't exist without it. I totally get it. Totally get it. Can you imagine a housing inventory if they did? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, it would pop up everywhere. But then nobody would win, right? Everybody, if they did that, everybody would lose. Because you guys got to remember, none of this can work without slaves. None of it. Absolutely none of it can work without slaves. None of it. Don't tell me these specific details that would disqualify you for this loan is shady. Right. Okay. Don't tell me these specific details that would oh, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. And it's unfortunate that you have people that know a little bit more than the slaves, so they're taking advantage of them in that way. So it automatically, like, if I saw somebody that did that, even though they did it legally, right? but I clearly see that it's shady. I wouldn't deal with that person in the business. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't deal with that person in business because I would clearly see like, yeah, what you did was legal, but it's immoral, you know. And my morality in business is irrelevant, but based on that, I'm choosing not to do business with you. That's what I would do personally. Like for what I do, right? I couldn't be a realtor getting somebody in the FHA mortgage, right? Even though that's legal, I couldn't do it morally. Do you understand? Financial morally. That's what I mean. Financially speaking, because it makes absolutely no mathematical sense. So I couldn't personally do that. I couldn't not have like say for example, I couldn't be a realtor with a paid off house, but it's business. It's not, I mean, and I'm not saying anything's wrong with it. I'm just saying something. I just couldn't do it personally because I couldn't suggest somebody else get a mortgage and I ain't got one. Right. I just couldn't do that. Oh man, this is a hellified deal, man. And they got student loans and credit cards and all this other stuff. And because the people, like the people selling the home, they know those people are over there crossing their fingers, hoping to get this debt. And I promise you, the people that's trying to get this loan for you, they're hoping you get that debt too, because they're gonna get paid. Because as soon as you buy it, they get a check from the bank. That's it. They out. That's all you now. Yep, slaves are needed. They are absolutely needed. And that's the wonderful thing about this system. You don't have to be a slave. The wealthy are not holding you back. They're not hoarding all the money. The wealthy just see negative numbers. You don't. That's the only difference. There is no other difference. Well, of course, there are families that have been in it longer. They've been known this for centuries. And then once you understand the basics, then you'll meet up with people that understand the other pieces, and everybody knows the basic rules. You have to be able to see negative numbers. That's the basic rule. If you can't see negative numbers, you can't be wealthy. You can't. And when I say wealth, owning the time in your life, you own it. Money is rich, wealth is time. The majority of slaves, you guys have no idea that that's even possible, that you can own all the time in your life. You guys don't even realize that's even possible. The majority of you have never even thought about it. You thought just, hey, yeah, 40 hours a week, 40 hours a week, 4 weeks a month, natural, that you just believe that that's just going to be it until you're dead. Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. Holidays is time and a half, and the holidays is this. Those days off, extended weekends, this and that. No, that's just a program. Being a slave is a choice. The information is in plain sight. It is. What's up, Wayne? Do you think most realtors are in debt, including not owning their homes? Of course. Of course, the majority of realtors are in debt. You can always see how they act. You can tell the debt if you can't see it when you're in debt. You can't really tell, right? If you are a person in debt going to buy a house from a realtor that's also in debt, that also has a subprime mortgage or whatever, you guys are on the same money wavelength, right? You don't know what to look for. Because if you're a person that's not in debt and has cash for a house, and you go pick a realtor, you're going to know immediately if the realtor is in desperate need. First, you're going to know right away by the organization of their time. right? If they schedule with something with you and they're always late or have an excuse for why they didn't call, or I'm not saying they're perfect. Sometimes things happen, right? But I'm talking about consistency. Always look for consistency. If somebody is always late, or they think 5-10 minutes late is not a big deal, or always has an excuse to why they didn't show up on time, that's a problem right there. That's a problem right off the bat. They're telling you how they treat their own time. And if they treat their own time like that, they're definitely not going to respect your time. You don't want to deal with nobody like that. You don't want to do that. Off on weekends program sure is. SMD, can you at least put out a book? It would be greatly appreciated. By the way, I recently got out student loan matrix last year, and it feels great. I made sure to make quick work of it. Yeah, honestly, I feel like right now is the time to do that, like to get serious about the book, right? And the reason why I feel like right now is the right time, because now I know the answer, the ability to see negative numbers. Before, up until last month, I was saying it, math, the calculator, this and that, but I didn't realize I was narrowing it down to this. And what it is the ability to see negative numbers. That's what it is. That's the answer. I can see something that millions of people can't. That is the answer, right? So now I feel like I'm ready to write a book now, because it will lead to what I'm sharing with you guys today. The ability to see negative numbers. I don't know of a book that has been written saying it the way I'm saying it. I don't know if there is such a book that says, "Hey, I wrote a book about, this is how I had the ability to see negative numbers, and this is what negative numbers mean." I don't even say, "Hey, you don't trust the calculator." I mean, even saying that leaves a room open for opinion to slaves. What do you mean I don't trust the calculator? No, I could just say, you don't see negative numbers, and I can prove it. I can show you on a calculator. Didn't even take me a year. That's how you know when somebody get that bug, man. That's how I was. I had quite a bit more debt, but that's how I was. Once I realized I was a slave, oh man, I went gung ho. Stopped going out, stopped dating, moved out of my place, sold all my shit, everything. I said, whatever it takes, reduce my life, went through my whole financial life with a fine-tooth comb, trimmed out every single thing I could trim down, got rid of cable TV, found a better phone bill, worked on my car insurance. I did everything. You feel you will feel free that debtor energy. You will feel you will feel that debtor energy. I did everything I took to get out of debt, and I'm free. And then when you're out, I didn't realize, again, I didn't realize this till last month. When I first got out of debt, I didn't know the answer was I couldn't see negative numbers, which is the obvious answer. You could just look at any capitalist economy and clearly see the answer is they obviously don't see negative numbers, obviously. If people could see negative numbers, they would know they're not homeowners. If people could see negative numbers, people who finance Teslas would clearly see that they're not saving money on gas. That's obvious. That's clear. You're not saving money on gas. What are you talking about? You finance the gas has nothing to do with it. Actually, you know what's so funny now I think about it? Actually, people who finance electric cars, they're wasting even more time. They're wasting money and time. Because not only are they spending money because the car is financed, right? But they have to wait at the pump for like an hour. You mean they can't do nothing until their car is refilled at a pump. So they're losing time and money. At least with a finance car, you're just losing money because you just stop at the gas station, be there 5, maybe 6, 7 minutes, and you out. But an electric car, you're there for like 45 minutes to an hour if it's not taken up. You think somebody that understands money would ever do that in a million years? Finance a Tesla so they could sit at a pump, electric pump, waiting to get their turn, and then wait again to get no, no. They're not. They're not going to do that. They know that in order to save money on gas, if you get an electric car, you have to buy the car in cash. You have to buy the car in cash. Only people that buy electric cars in cash save money on gas. Especially if if your student loans are older than your Tesla, you are so not saving money on gas. You're not saving money on anything. You're like double losing. And it has nothing to do with the Tesla. Nothing. It has nothing to do with the Tesla. Nothing. It's you. The bank don't care about that Tesla. They don't care how much gas you think you're saving, as long as you make those payments on time. Especially if you got student loan debt. Now you guys got a frunk and a trunk to put your student, because that's the room for your that's the room for your student loan debt. If you stack it all up in bills, they could probably fill up there. Like again, like I said earlier, if they put negative dollars, if they printed negative dollars, both of you guys all you guys cars will be filled with red dollars. Especially if you had white seats, it probably bleed off on those seats. Mm. I tell you, man, they do you guys, man. They do you guys. Whew. They do you guys dirty, man. Mm. And I mean, let me stop saying that. Do you guys dirty? You do it to yourselves. Do it to yourself. Mm. I had to talk about this one because, man, but I already knew they were going to do it, though. I already knew they were going to do that. This is the wrong time to slap student loan payments back on you guys right now. That is the wrong time. There'd be chaos in the streets. Chaos. They couldn't. That's too much. That is way too much pressure. Moratorium plus student loan payments. No, you can't have that. No, that's too much. You slaves can only take so much before you crack. They can't make it easy for you. They can't make it easy. They got to keep that fear going, man. That's how you guys. That's how you're fueled. That's how you're fueled. So in these hard times, most of you guys, and you guys see people driving nice cars or living in nice areas, all you got to do is say, "Hey, did you hear about Biden? He pushed the student loan payments back till January." If they breathe a sigh of relief, everything that they're showing you is fake. Their car, their house, the vacations they're going on, the trips, they're charging it all. Everything's being charged. Don't fall for it. Don't what you see on social media and the Facebook and stuff like, hey, don't, yeah. It's not real. Maybe you might get lucky, come across that one friend that says, "Oh yeah, man, I'm glad because I'm taking advantage of these student loan payments, not paying interest." That's the friend you want to be listening to. You might get lucky. Ask all your friends about the Biden situation, about the Biden pushing the student loan debt till January. You might come across that one friend that might say something different. "I'm taking advantage of it right now, man, because this ain't gonna never happen again." That's the friend you need to be paying attention to. Kazin says the extension is good for conscious slaves who are trying to get ahead on payments to free themselves. Sadly, we're very few. But like I always say, Kazin, it has to be that way. It has to be this way. It has to be. The majority must be slaves. They have to be slaves. Have to be. Slaves have to believe they could be homeowners, living the American dream with student loan debt. They have to believe that. When you hear about if you feel like you're getting caught up in the housing frenzy, like, oh my God, I better hurry up. Anybody telling you about buying a house, this is what I want you to ask them. Say, hey man, did you hear about that Biden thing? See, all you got to do is listen to their response. Just listen to their response. If they have student loan debt, those people are telling you the wrong information. Or if they say, or if you know somebody at work or you know family members that got a house already, ask them, hey, what type of mortgage did you get? If they say FHA mortgage, just know they did it wrong. That's for slaves. FHA mortgages are for slaves. FHA, VA mortgage, all those mortgages, those are for slaves. You can't buy a house with no money down. What are you talking about? You cannot buy a house with no money. Those people that think no money down is a good thing, you can't buy a house with no money. If you believe that, that's why you have a VA mortgage, because you believe you can, because you can't see negative numbers. That's why you think it's special. It's not special. Can you imagine you're in the service and you think it's special and it's not? You can't buy a house with no money. Nobody can. That's another story, though. So I hope you guys beware, man. The financial scammers are going to be coming for you because they already know you guys think you have some extra money to spend, and that's when they're going to take advantage of you. Let me look at Bitcoin right now, see if it even started rising yet. Because I saw it was 43 earlier. It's still 43. It ain't really ain't happened yet. It really ain't sink in for people that think they're going to invest in some cryptocurrency and get their money back and then pay off their student loan debt in January. No, you're not. Anyway, any questions? Any questions? I know I'll be coming with a lot, especially if you're new to the channel. I'll be coming a lot, man. Stuff you ain't never heard of. I get it. I totally get it. Totally get it. Totally understand. But you want some shirts? There you go. Streaming at the bottom down there. That's the website. Got a whole bunch of different statements up there. I do believe it is time to get this book going. So now that I have the answer, I'm ready to, I feel I'm comfortable enough to get it started now the proper way. All right, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. Until next time. All right, later.